Hey everyone, today we will be discussing how I ship LIFE TCG cards safely to customers and collectors alike. We'll go over the 5 methods I use to ship both raw and graded cards. And you'll want to stay tuned if it's important to you to learn how to ship cards safely. By the way, I'm Travis from Taclaco TCG, and let's get into it. Okay, so the 5 methods that I use, there's 3 for raw cards and 2 for graded slabs. The 3 methods for raw cards that I use are 1, a basic envelope, 2, a bubble mailer, and 3, a box. For graded cards, it is 1, a bubble mailer, 2, a box. So pretty consistent there. The only difference is a envelope for the raw cards. First, we'll go through the 3 different methods for sending a raw card, and then we'll go over the 2 methods for a graded card. But before we get into that, let's discuss the pre-preparation that every single method takes. And that will be, do you send a card in a top loader or do you send it in a semi-rigid? Now, I have a fairly strong preference for a semi-rigid. That's because I don't like to use any tape in any of my methods. Right? If you get tape, there's a possibility it could get onto the card, leave residue. That's just something, if you can avoid it, let's avoid it. Second reason, like top loader, a lot of people put tape because, I mean, with the top loader things, right here, like proving right there, it can fall out. Now, with semi-rigid, right, you make sure you put your card into a penny sleeve. Then you can seat it all the way down just to prove this out, right? Oop. Prove this out, come on. If you seat it all the way down there properly and center it up, package it nicely, then like I'm legitimately trying to shake it out, right? It's not going anywhere. That's why all these grading companies tell you to send in a semi-rigid and not a top loader. 1, because it's safe and secure for sending, and also it's easy to get the cards in and out. So after I put the card into a semi-rigid, then my next step is I will put the semi-rigid into a graded card sleeve. Now this is an incremental step that is not really necessary, but I do it because it makes it, I don't want to say waterproof, but water resistant, right? Say the package gets left out in the rain or for somebody spills some liquid on it. This is just an extra layer of protection to make sure the card gets there safely. Now, I'm sending a lot of cards to customers, so therefore it's important to me. Is it a required step? Probably not if you're just sending a card here and there to another collector that's part of a trade or something. But if you are going to start a business and send cards to customers, I recommend taking the extra, 5-10 cents to make sure it gets there safely. So what you do is you package that up, and then this will go into every single method in the same fashion. Now, method 1, raw card envelope, right? I use a raw card envelope because of the eBay standard envelope. It's 69 cents to ship. It's a lot cheaper. I can have much more affordable prices for my customers, and it's just a cheaper way to ship, right? Why spend $4 to $5 to ship a raw card when you can just send it in an envelope? So, what you will need other than the card, obviously, in the card and the nice package, in the semi-rigid package, what you will need for the raw card shipping is a basic envelope and 2 shipping labels. Now, I use with 4x6 shipping labels because obviously, like I said, run a business. You do not need to use those. You can write the address on the envelope if you want and put a piece of tape on the back. But since I have these readily accessible, I use these. So what I do with the first packing slip is generally this will be a packing slip, right? That I print out onto the thermal label. What I do is I fold that in half. And what that does is it gives a little extra protection, right? And I place the card in there and it gives it just a little extra protection, right? It does not increase the height of the card that much to where it still falls under the standard, what I think 1/4 inch height is the maximum height you can have to ship a envelope. So once it goes in there, a little extra protection, then you throw it in directly into the envelope. Right, and then I have a peel and stick here. It just makes it easy. Peel it, right, package it up, and then I take my shipping label. Right, I would undo that and then slap it on the front here and wrap up the bottom around there, right? So what that will do is that will create a seal with the shipping label across the opening of the envelope and all the way down. It just creates a permanent seal. Therefore, right, the customer or whoever is going to receive the envelope knows that a package wasn't tampered with, and that's going to be a constant theme you'll see here in a minute as well. So that's your raw card envelope. What you'll need for the bubble mailer is a bubble mailer, a piece of cardboard. Now I have these Hobby Armor ones, and that's just for sake of convenience, so I'm not sitting here every day cutting out a piece of cardboard. And that's the only other incremental items, right, you take. So like we have before, I have your card and your extra protection for your packing clip. I throw that on so you have a nice little package here. And then, right, you place it in to the bubble mailer, and what that's going to do, right, on the cardboard side down, and then, oh, sorry, I'm gonna get this all the way in, right, and the cardboard is on this side, right, you want to fold it up right here, like this, and then you just remove the adhesive and put it down. So what that's going to do is on this exposed side, you have the cardboard that's protecting the card. And on this side, you have the other side of the bubble mailer that's actually protecting the non-cardboard side of the card. Right. Then you put the adhesive, throw that down, and then you slap your label here. Again, let me make this pretty. Right. So here's your packaged up, and then you put the shipping label across the top, across the opening, again, to make a tamper resistant package. For the bubble mailer, I use the bubble mailers for cards over $20 up to about $100. Now, this method of the bubble mailer is perfectly fine to ship, I think, really any card, any dollar value card. But for me, when I'm talking about customer perception, once you get up into the $100 range, if I'm personally ordering a $100 card, I would hope that it comes in a box, not a bubble mailer. Not because it's any extra protection or, it's perfectly fine in a bubble mailer. It's just a customer perception. If I'm spending that kind of money, I want it in a nice package, right? Next, for sending a raw card over $100, I use a box. Like I mentioned earlier, it's a perception thing. So I don't do it often, right? I don't sell too many ungraded raw cards over $100. So whenever I do, I like to take the extra time to make sure it's shipped properly, and then it's presented accordingly in the box. So first, right, what you will need, other than the card and the shipping label like we talked about, is some shipping paper, excuse the wrinkles, and a nice little box. Now, the incremental cost for this size box, this is a 7x5x1. I use this because it also fits my graded cards. But the incremental cost from this to something bigger, say a 4x6x6, is the incremental cost from going from a 1-inch to a 2-inch when you're shipping via USPS is not material, right? Or I think it's the same actually. So, but again, when you're sending cards, you want to get the smallest box as possible to save on postage. And that's why I've found that 7x5x1 fits multiple purposes and is the smallest way to go. For the raw card box, what you will do, right, is you'll take our nice package, right, with a card and the semi-rigid and the gridded card sleeve, extra protection, right, and then you take your shipping paper and then just fold it up. Like, quite literally, just fold it up, right? And then what I do is I fold the edges to give it a little extra height, right? And then here, right, as you can see, you just drop it in like that. You may have to work at it. I would take more time if I was actually doing this, but as you can see right here, we found it nice. It's in the box. And then what you do, right, package it, close it up. And here's a kind of an important step. I think shake the box. right? If you hear any movement, any sound, you want to redo it. Either put more packaging in or put some filler, extra paper in somewhere so the card does not move around. Anytime you package up anything in a box for shipment, you want to make sure there is no movement in the box, right? Graded or cards included. So no movement, this is good. What I would do then is I would take my packing tape, start at the bottom, go all the way around this way, and then go all the way around this way. That creates then, the tape. It's packaged up, and then I just slap my shipping label, 4x6 shipping label up top here. If you don't have a thermal printer, just literally print it out on a piece of paper and tape it. Does the trick as well. Okay, awesome. That was the 3 methods that I use to ship raw cards. Now we'll move on to the 2 methods that I use to ship a graded slab. First being bubble mailer, and then second being the box. Little teaser, the box is the same. I use a bubble mailer for graded cards under $75. For me, that's just a convenience item. Just like the bubble mailer, the graded card in a bubble, both bubble mailers, the graded card and the slabs, fit into the mail slot that's right next to my house. So I don't have to go to the post office every single day. So for this bubble mailer, I'll show you how I do it, just because it fits my method and what works best for me. If you're not shipping these things every single day, put it in a box. Right? I think there's no incremental benefit to buying a bunch of the same supplies that I have. I was just using what I have on hand, really. So what I use, right, is a bubble mailer and a bubble pouch, we'll call it, right? So you take your slab, and I put all my slabs in a graded card sleeve, just for a little extra protection and customer perception. Okay. I put then the slab in the bubble mailer. I'll drop the packing slip inside the pouch as well. And then it's really as simple as putting the graded card into the bubble mailer like that. Nothing else to it. Package it up, throw the shipping label over the opening again to keep a tamper resistant package, and then I drop it in the mail. It's really nothing else extra there. All right, moving on to the box for the graded cards. I will use the same. The process is the exact same as the raw card. So I'll go through it really briefly. Slab, paper, wrap it up, make sure it's nice and tight, or a little bit loose, right? Put it in the box, package it up, shake it up, make sure there's no movement, tape it up, put the label on, and you're good to go. Awesome. So those are the 5 methods that I use to ship off cards, both raw cards and graded cards. Now, as a reminder, right, I did have some adaptations in there for my personal use and what works best for me. And I think that everybody should, and just be mindful, right, that a lot of these items are and just be mindful that these methods and be mindful that my methods are my methods. You can use whatever you find that fits best for your working style. And every single one of the methods that I presented today is a safe way, right? At the end of the day, the goal is to get the card safely from point A to point B. Any one of the 5 methods that I showed today will get the cards there safely. And who knows, I might tweak things here and there in the future, but please let me know your feedback down in the comments. I'd love to hear it and discuss how you guys ship out your cards as well.